Hi guys, it's Kenny here from Bacon Business Gaming, and today is the first episode of many Kenny's theories of gaming. Now, while most of you people have your own theories, I have mine. My theory is this. This is my portal theory, and my portal theory is who or what is the Ratman? Now, I've done extensive research on this, and I can say with a lot of excellent, something like that, knowledge, that his name is Doug Ratman. I'm just going to insert that into the Google bar. Doug Ratman. Okay? And this is Doug Ratman, however you want to say it, right there. Now, he has schizophrenia, which would ultimately drive him insane. Now, how it did this is, he did not take his pills, for he realized once GLaDOS filled the enrichment center with neurotoxin, that he had to do something to stop GLaDOS. And so, what he did, this represents the vial of pills that he takes. You can see that right here. Now, what he does is, he, after GLaDOS floods the enrichment center with neurotoxin, he goes and he's all like, okay, I'm gonna make Chell, aka you in Portal, the #1 person on the top of the list to be tested, because he knows Chell can stop GLaDOS. Now, the day comes when GLaDOS is when Chell is awakened by GLaDOS. And this is the day where he has to take his final schizophrenia pills. All of the writings that you see in Portal and Portal 2, like this, in a Ratman's den. These are called Ratman's den, obviously what I just said. And in these Ratman's den are writings, like right here is the "she's watching you," and you can tell he has an obsession with the companion cube. I do not know why this is, but if you read the Lab Rat comic, as I did, he talks to his companion cube, and because he is insane, the companion cube talks back. And in this, GLaDOS gives a little hints at this. She says, and I quote, "The enrichment center reminds you to disregard that the weighted companion cube does not speak, and if it does, disregard anything it says in Portal." Now, obviously, this is a reference to Doug Ratman, who talks to his companion cube. Now, you guys are probably wondering, whoa, hold up, Kenny. Why are you telling us this now? Well, it is because I think there could be a crossover game. Because in Portal 2, Doug Ratman, in the little, there's an Easter egg thing where you go and you get the radio and you see the transmission in a Ratman den. Yeah, no. In that very same room, you can hear rambling of some sort. Now, when you play it slower, I'm going to tell you what it says, alright? It says a lot of stuff, but the two lines that caught my attention are Black Mesa has it, and the ship is stolen, and also Chell, help me. Now, this is all confusing to me, and so I looked up lore of Portal, and there was a ship called the Borealis that can be found in Half-Life Episode 2. Now, while we all would love Half-Life Episode 3 to come out, same here. I think it'll neither be a Half-Life 3 or a Portal 3. It'll be a crossover game. Whereas in the Portal ship, Borealis, which is in Half-Life 2, and Gordon Freeman, and somehow Chell has escaped in Portal 2. And let's say that finally, for some weird reason, Cave Johnson, who is the CEO of Aperture Science, is alive somehow. And this could be like the big thing who, I don't know what's his name is, controls. But anyway, back to Doug Ratman. And if we see the Lab Rat comic, which, let's get that up. Lab Rat comic, alright. And so, this is a mural. That's Doug Ratman painting Chell, you in your likelihood, and he says, this is the picture I already showed you. A truth so strange it can only be lied into existence, and our minds can lie, never doubt it. And he goes on and on. He does not believe that Chell is awake. He says the end is finally upon us, and we go back. And he runs back to his locker, and you can see the pills. A companion cube saying, "Don't do it." And you see an old Doug Ratman, and it says right here, he is schizophrenic, so he needs to take these pills. Now, Doug Ratman highly objected to the making of GLaDOS. He, in this comic that I'm about to show you, there's about to be another part in the comic that makes a whole lot of sense. Okay, so right here, these are Chell's records. And, this is when you, the player, defeat GLaDOS. She did it. It's over. The ultimate systems crash. And, it says right here. No, not right here. Well, when they are installing morality cores into GLaDOS, his friend Henry states it as a, he says, we have installed a new morality core into GLaDOS that will stop her from having the urge to kill people. It'll act like her conscience. And Doug Ratman replies with, it's right here. He replies right here. You can always ignore your conscience. Because while we do things, while our conscience separates right from wrong, like in Pinocchio, you can always lie. You can always do the exact wrong thing that your conscience says to do. And ultimately, if they had listened to Doug Ratman, I believe that, first off, the Portal series would never have been created. But here's the thing. After the events of Portal, we are left with some surprising questions at the opening of Portal 2. How did we get back into the enrichment center? That is because the party escort bot dragged you back in and was like, "Hey bro, what's up? Gonna put you in cryogenic sleep." But the party escort bot forgot or did not know that GLaDOS had been destroyed. And so it put her in a cryo chamber. And now, this is Doug Ratman right here, putting her chamber back online. And right here, this is when he loses contact with his companion cube because of the schizophrenia pills that he took. And so this is just now. We're back. All gone. So, what this guy does is Doug Ratman comes in and he, makes shell number 1. And I was just explained the Schroeder's cat theory. Schroeder's cat theory. Okay. So in this comic, Doug Ratman makes a reference to the Schroeder's cat theory. It says both alive and dead until someone opens the box. Now this is a reference to the Schroeder's cat theory, and this is where you take a cat inside the box, and you put something radioactive in the box with it. Now whether the cat eats it or not is questioned. And so it's both alive and dead until someone opens the box. Make sense? Good. And so after a hard day's work, he falls asleep in Shell's original cryo chamber. And here, it says right here, Shell. Test subject is abnormally stubborn. She never gives up. Ever. Rejected. Do not test. And it says that she's an abnormal test subject. She's not like most test subjects. And that is the end of the Doug Ratman series, but there is even more to who he is. After the events of Portal, it is unknown whether Doug Ratman survives. But we do see his scribblings, and as I have stated in my previous video, you can hear him rambling in the hallways of the Easter egg, of that moon Easter egg, where you see the companion cube on the moon. Now this is also a reference to Doug Ratman, because he said in the comic, "I've always wanted to go to the moon." This is also a reference to Doug Ratman. Now there is some speculation going around that he may be the father of Shell, because in the comic, he says that the companion cube asks him, "How do you know she could do it?" And he says, "Just a hunch." Now, it could mean that A, it was just a hunch, or B, which I believe, Doug Ratman is Shell's adopted father. Throughout the game, throughout Portal, GLaDOS taunts us. Even at one part, at the very end of the game, she tells us we're adopted. Now, even though GLaDOS is not one of the most trusted sources in the game, I mean, she lies to you for about half of it. I mean, this is still interesting. Because, I mean, if you are adopted, and David Ratman was acting on a quote-unquote hunch, maybe he was your father, and he knew how great you were. Now, also, some theory that supports my claim is Shell's Take Your Daughter to Work Day poster. So let me type that in. Shell's Take Your Daughter to Work Day. Hell, bring your daughter to work now. Hold on. So, Shell did attend Take Your Daughter to Work Day. And because you must be the daughter of an employee at Aperture Science to attend Take Your Daughter to Work Day, David Ratman was he worked in the image laboratories of Aperture Science, where he made the gravity gun. And I know this sounds really weird, but if you go back to the comic, I don't know what page on, but if you go back to some part in the comic, he is right here. Hold on. He's making things, and you can plainly see right here the gravity gun right there. So you can tell that this man, Doug Ratman, invented the gravity gun, and that Black Mesa has stolen the gravity gun from Aperture Science, because Cave Johnson does claim that Black Mesa stole a lot of their stuff. Now back to my Doug Ratman is Chell's father, adoptive father. We are never given a last name for Chell. While some speculate it's Michelle Johnson, daughter of Cave Johnson, I go on a limb and say this. Yes, she is the biological daughter of Cave Johnson and Carolyn, which, if you don't know about Carolyn, I'm not going to tell you, because Ben's sitting next to me and it's a major spoiler for Portal 2. And so, Carolyn, they had that, and they had Chell, but knowing that a child would get in their way of science, as Cave and Carolyn's one love was science, they decided to put the child up for adoption. And Doug Ratman agreed, like any loving human being would. Now, while this does support my theory, also there are a lot of other theories going around, like Gordon Freeman is Chell's dad. How? I'm calling you guys out there. Tell me how Gordon Freeman can be related to the show, if it's possible. Because they're obviously the same universe. I mean, we've got the Borealis, the portal ship, in Half-Life 2, and we've got the gravity gun and Portal. I mean, it's obviously the same universe, and plus they're bitter rivals. Now, I want you guys to post in the comments what you guys think. I mean, this is mind-blowing for me, and I want to see what you guys think about it. So this is Kenny, signing off.